Okay, let's do this.
Oh, thank you so much for this. I needed to get out of the studio.
You bet.
All right.
Hey, Heidi, we're on the first tee. Let's get going.
Okay, babe, somebody's behind us. Let's go, hit them straight.
All right. I got this.
So was she any good?
No, she's terrible.
Who's next?
See, babe, isn't this relaxing?
All right, Jamil. Nice shot, Jamil. Oh! Oh, yeah!
Babe, you just gotta try to relax.
Keep your eye on the ball.
What am I thinking? I'm a New York State field hockey champion.
Seriously? Holy cow!
Told you I was good at this.
Babe, that was incredible. You wanna play another 9?
No. I think I should stick to what I'm good at. Let's get back to the studio.
Okay.
All right, welcome to episode 3 of Heidi's Palette. I think it's time to put those clubs down and pick up our palette knife. So, today we are going to talk about reflections. I'm going to teach you just a quick couple tips how to create your reflection below your horizon line. So, as you can see, I've started a little bit of a sky, a little bit of water, and a really blended subject matter. So, we got our colors here. We're going to start with a little bit of gold, okay? I want you to think about putting gold on the tip of your palette knife. And I literally want you to go all the way across your horizon line. I want you to literally just get a bunch on there, all the way across here. Doesn't really matter how you get it on here, but you do need a decent amount of paint because we're going to be moving it around, okay? All right? Without doing anything, you don't even need to clean your palette knife. I want you to grab a little bit of your dark green, okay? I want you to go above that line with a little bit of your dark green. Okay? Again, we're going to kind of try to mimic the greenery you've got in the background. You know, it goes up a little higher over here. Okay? Then we're going to go to an even lighter green. If you have a nice chartreuse or you can create some other green, putting a little white with your sap green. Okay? So, the good thing is, you want to create lots of different variations of your colors. That just makes it more interesting for your viewer. So, with this lighter green now, I want you to kind of go in to the middle of your piece. We see our light sources up here and down here. So, we want that to be mirrored below here. So we're gonna take that same green. Now I want you to go below your horizon line. And get a little bit of that in there, okay? All right, now this is the part that always freaks everybody out. I want you to take some of your dark green and then your sap green. It hasn't even been mixed. And I want you to put just a little line here. Hopefully you can see that. You might even need to add a little bit of black, make it even darker. And a little bit right here, okay? Add a little bit more to this side over here. All right, after you've done that, I want you to wipe off your palette knife. Make sure you really wipe off your palette knife, okay? Because we're gonna do something I call walking your palette knife. You need to have something in your non-painting hand to keep wiping off your palette knife. I call it walking your palette knife. I'm gonna walk these colors all the way across. So I like to start from the left. You can do it either way you want. But I'm literally gonna start, we're blending these colors by just walking them all the way across. I'm gonna keep a little bit of that color on there. Keep walking it, walking it, walking it. Wipe off your palette knife. Okay, so just little taps as you move your palette knife to the right. Keep moving it to the right, wiping it off, moving it, moving it. You want to keep, you're grabbing your paint while you're moving it. All right? It gives it a nice blended feel, but it doesn't feel too controlled. All right? So, after you've done that, I'm gonna steal a little bit of this light green and get some of it over here. You can do that too in your pieces, kind of steal paint from certain parts and move it over. The thing is, it's all meant to be part of the same palette work, so it's okay if you're moving colors around. People always are afraid to move stuff around because they're afraid that it's gonna end up in the wrong spot. So, once you've got all this done, I don't want you to worry too much about the top of your tree line just yet. Next thing we're gonna do, all right? Next thing we're gonna do, I want you to grab your palette again. I want you to grab a nice bit of white all along the edge of your palette knife, and then one of the blues that you had already created in your sky, all right? I'm gonna grab this grayish blue here to start with. I've got both paints lined up on my palette knife. Now remember, think about where your line is again, okay? So, you do want this part to be straight. You are going to go into your horizon line and literally scrape it down. Move over, scrape it down. Hopefully your canvas doesn't keep moving off of. Let's go like this, so you can actually see. All right, so I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna grab some white, some blue, shimmy it into here, scrape it down, move it over, scrape it down. You're gonna kind of do this a couple times throughout your piece. You can always go back if you want to blend it some more. Wipe off your palette knife again. There's nowhere else to wipe on my apron anymore. People have actually offered to buy these. Anyway, all right, you can go back, walk it again. I like to do this twice. I like to walk my palette again the whole way over. Again, keep wiping off your palette knife after every few taps. Wipe it again, a couple more taps. Keep moving it, moving it, moving it. The more you do it, the more blended, of course, it will become. You don't have to blend it perfectly. The eye will start to see the horizon line. Now, again, with an empty palette knife, you want to go back to your horizon line, shimmy it into that line, scrape it down again. Move it over. Keep going back to your horizon line. Shimmy it again. And they'll start to get softer and softer and softer. Now this is the really fun part. This is where I like to take a chunk of white, and again, think about where our light source is, right? So it's going to be brightest here in our water. I want you to put a huge dollop of white here in the middle. and just move it from the left to the right. Wipe off your palette knife again, and you're going to scrape it down. It'll get softer and softer as you move from the middle out to the edges. All right? You can always add more greens, make it even softer. You don't need your horizon line to be perfectly seen throughout the whole line, but I do like to have one section where you do see a white line, because I think that that accentuates it. Now, you can always go back with one of your brushes. Sorry, I gotta step out for a second. And you can grab a little turpentine and blend your water a little bit. Keep wiping off your your brush, sorry. So I used to have my palette knife in my hand. And just soften these edges just a little bit. You don't want to do too much. You don't want to lose the beauty of what you've just done moving these paints around, right? So, once you've got this nice and blended, I like to think about where you might want a nice pop of color, okay? And this is where I like to either do a bright blue or a really, really bright green. Get this nice and soft throughout. All right, soften up that spot here. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my palette paper, right? I've got a nice bright blue here. All right, I'm gonna grab just a little bit of it, not too much. And then I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of my ultramarine. So this is cerulean and ultramarine. I wanna pick a spot along my horizon line in my water, but I don't wanna go right smack dab in the middle. I always tell people to try to go on one side or the other. And look at your piece. It looks like there's a little bit of shadow going on here, a little bit going on here. I'm thinking I'm gonna put a tiny bit just right here. And I'm gonna scrape that down. Scrape that down into my water. I'm gonna walk it out again and scrape it again. All right? The other thing you can do, sometimes in your water, you want to make the white highlight go down even further. You can take a chunk of white, bring it all the way down. Now, if you do this, start playing with your water. Remember, you got to make it look like it works in your whole piece. Okay? So, there you go. I'm going to go back up here with an empty palette knife and scrape it down again. And one of the last things I like to tell people to do, you can play around with your tree line again. You can add a little bit of blue. You can add a little bit of gold back up here. Tap, tap, tap into some of your tree line. Maybe put a little bit right in here. Okay? You can go back and always blend this some more. But we've got the nice basis for a piece where you've got a tree line, you've got a horizon line, and you've got a reflection. You can always add more greens. Go in, add a little bit more green, scrape that down. Add a little bit more of your other dark green, scrape that down again. I feel like I need a little more green right here. Always clean your palette knife. All the way into my blue. All right, so there you go. You can always add a little pool somewhere in here. Take some of your darker blues. Sometimes I load them all up on my palette knife together. I think, oh, you know what? Maybe there'll be a little pool right here. Something that looks a little different. Make it even darker. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of black. Go right in here. Almost create just a little variation in your water. Okay. And there you have it. Those are some tricks on making some reflections in your water. So, Obviously, I'm going to go back and work more on my sky, on my water. But you get the basics. You can also grab one more, I would do even one more accent color, maybe a little bit of this burnt sienna. Get some in here. Move that over as well. All right. All right. I feel like I should blend this a little bit more too. So, I want you to just play around with it. Get comfortable with your palette knife. I always tell people too, it's not a bad idea to have a separate second little canvas maybe sitting on your table next to you where you can kind of play and practice and mix colors so you don't get too caught up in it. It's meant to be fun, remember? All right. There you go. Enjoy. Join me next time on Heidi's Palette, episode 4. See ya.